If you talk to anyone from the Asian community, they are in denial. I think almost friends of mine who I try to broach this problem with will say straight away, you know, there isn't a problem. It just appears that way. Now, why should it appear that way? You know, that there is something very wrong going on. And I think the sooner that we start to have a debate about it and we start to encourage the Asian community to address it themselves.
But she's asking a lot. Birmingham is one of the few places that has tried to tackle the problem head on.
हमने बच्चे के जो टेस्ट किए हैं उससे ये बात सामने आई है कि बच्चे को inherited genetical disease है.
It launched an awareness campaign targeted at the city's Pakistani population.
ये नहीं हो सकता डॉक्टर साहब, मेरा बच्चा मासूम नहीं हो सकता.
One element was a drama shot specially in Pakistan to highlight the increased risk of recessive illness in the children of cousin marriages. The campaign was controversial from the start.
We knew that there was a risk that people might say we were being racist or that in some way implying that their cultures were deficient. There were people that said we shouldn't do it, people that said, professionals from the scientific community who said it was unethical and unrealistic. And in my view, there cannot be any no-go areas when it comes to public health. We felt we had a duty to give the information to our communities and for them to take what they wanted from that.
मेरे बच्चे को genetic disorder है, और ये सिर्फ तब होता है जब सगे रिश्तेदारों में शादियां होती हैं. जैसे मैं और ज़फर फर्स्ट कजन हैं.
तुम लोग गलत लोगों की बातें क्यों सुनते हो? क्या पता डॉक्टरों को? क्या पता डॉक्टरों को अल्लाह ताला के कामों का?
The drama was shown in community centres around Birmingham to help prompt a discussion about cousin marriage and its risks. It generated a strong response.
Once we started talking to people directly regarding this genetic disorder, they didn't want to know it. They were very abusive if you tell them this is what's happening, and they didn't want to know it.
What do you mean abusive?
They were aggressive because when it comes to religion matter, they always take it aggressive. They say, well, who are you to tell it's God's will? And my point was that it wasn't a God's will. I mean, God wouldn't want his people to suffer.
Arshad's work on the project persuaded him that the marriage of his own daughter to his sister's son was not a good idea. He called the wedding off.
You said, you know, I don't want my daughter to marry your son to your sister.
Yes,
and
openly.
What happened then?
She then went to talk to my mum regarding that I promised and why I'm changing my mind. But the whole family went on one side and I was on the other side, and I simply said, no, I'm not going to do that.
So that was
I've seen the suffering.
That was quite a difficult decision for you.
It is a very difficult situation, but it's their life. Why should I make a decision for why should I sacrifice my daughter for my family?
The fact is that, unlike Arshad, many British Pakistanis are still wedded to the old traditions. The fear of alienating the community has meant that few health authorities have followed Birmingham's lead with their own high-profile campaigns. Now, some experts are arguing that targeting the whole population to try and change deeply entrenched practices is the wrong approach.
It's not at a population level that people are going to make individual decisions about their reproduction. Families, couples make decisions about their reproduction.
Amra Dar and her colleagues have just received a large grant from the Department of Health to pilot a family-orientated approach. She argues that as more and more of the genes that cause recessive illness are identified, the carriers of variant genes within extended families can be identified. Then individuals can be given very precise assessments of the risk of genetic illness.
If there is an affected child, that is a signal to a health service that there is actually a large population grouping that is at risk for that particular condition. So it's not just the nuclear family that you would go to, so the affected child plus the family. You can actually use those genetic links which are also kinship and social links, and work outwards towards through the extended family, so you don't need to take that population approach.
She argues that her approach would reduce illness without alienating the community. But others believe a more direct approach is needed. People should be actively discouraged from marrying their first cousins.
As we address problems of smoking, drinking, obesity, we say it's a public health issue, and therefore we all have to get involved with it in persuading people to adopt a different lifestyle. I think the same should be applying to this problem within the Asian community. They must adopt a different lifestyle, i.e. they must look outside the family for husbands and wives for their young people. We have to stop this tradition of first cousin marriages.
If these Pakistani students at Birmingham's Matthew Bolton College are anything to go by, attitudes may already be changing.
Would you ever consider marrying a cousin or something, somebody in the family?
Because I think that's disgusting.
You think it's disgusting? Pretty strong, isn't it?
Because, like, your cousins, yeah, you obviously see them, you don't see them in that way, you see them as your cousin brothers, you treat them all like your brothers. Like, when I go to my cousin's house, I don't sit there sharking them, do I? Because I treat them like my brothers, yeah, because if you get married to someone, yeah, who's like the blood cousin, yeah, you're putting if you have babies, yeah, you're putting them at risk. You can have disabled babies.
I think there should be a process that's saying, they should take a blood test before they get married. I mean, this might sound awkward, but it's the best thing for you.
And if you ask for a blood test, do you think your parents would say, yeah, fine?
They think I was so stupid. No, they think I'm being smart, and I think they think I'm treating them inferiorly because I want a blood test done just for myself. And yeah, I think personally it's just a waste of time. What's the use of getting married to your cousins?
Mumma's coming to sit with Hikmah.
Down the road, Nyla and her family are laying the table for the evening meal. She says she would now consider having a gene test.
Still, my daughter, she's developed what's called a squint, and it's like two lazy eyes. The doctor asked me and said that, you don't mind me asking, but, are you married to your cousin? I am. It is a genetic problem that she has. And I said, but is it, because we're married, I'm married to my first cousin. And he said, well, it may be, but that doesn't, we don't think so. But we can only prove that if we do a genetic test. Now, I would probably just have, if I was going to have more children, then I may just have a genetic test to see whether there is any kind of, abnormal gene.
Nyla's family shows cousin marriages can be strong and enduring. Balancing the benefits of the tradition with the health risks is clearly no easy matter.